How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. After a couple days off because of a postponed game, we are back with action and another loss. So let's talk about it. Panarin is still out, and Miller is also out tonight with an upper body injury. I snooped around online, couldn't find anything definitive. They're probably not going to say anything anyway because that's how it goes. But Miller with an upper body injury, Panarin with a lower body injury from, I believe, last game or 2 games ago. Heedle's still out. He's got a couple more weeks before he returns. And then Johnson is still out with a lower body injury, but that's probably a good thing at this point. But Coach Quinn said that both Miller and Panarin are close to returning, so maybe we see him Thursday night. Maybe we don't see him until Saturday, but it might be another game of missing key players in this lineup. The last time these two teams met was January 19th, where the Rangers lost 3-4, and tonight they add on another loss to the Devils, 5-2. Lineups for tonight: Kreider, Zibanejad, and Blackwell started on the first line tonight, which was interesting to see. Quinn changing up the lines a little bit. That wouldn't last the whole game. Lafreniere, Strome, Kakko on that second line. Kakko moving up, taking the place of Panarin. Di Giuseppe, Howden, Buchnevich on that third line. Di Giuseppe no longer has a shield on his helmet, which was nice to see. He injured his eye, I think, early in the season, and he finally doesn't have the shield anymore. And then Lemieux, Rooney, and Gauthier on that bottom line. Lindgren, Fox, and then Smith is back. We get to see Smith come back, so he's in the second pair with Trouba. And then Hayek, Potato on that bottom pair. Shesterkin was in net. This is the Devils' first game since January 31st, where they beat the Sabres. And the Rangers did not take advantage of a team that hasn't played a game in a couple weeks. But we'll get into that more. First period, quarter pole. I heard the announcers keep throwing that phrase around. This is game 14 of the season, 14 out of 56, so we are a quarter of the way through the season already. It's flying by, and the Rangers are now 4-7-3. 4-7-3 through 14 games. That is not a fantastic record. I really don't see how the Rangers make the playoffs this season. I wasn't really banking on them making it. I thought the best they would finish this year was 5th, and I guess that's still possible. You know, if the Rangers get the injured players back and they go on a tear, they could bump up into 5th in the division. I really don't see how they make the playoffs this year. So, really nothing to worry about. I'm just worried about development. That's really what I'm trying to focus on so I don't get too sad. First period, 29 seconds in, Kreider and McLeod, a fight. McLeod hit Zibanejad pretty hard. It was a legal hit, shoulder to shoulder, but Zibanejad went into the boards. Kreider didn't like that, so we start the game 30 seconds in with a fight. 2:04, Shesterkin, couple of good saves in a row. He was really good tonight. This doesn't show how well Shesterkin played. This shows how poorly the Rangers played. Shesterkin played a great game. New Jersey, very high energy start, I thought, for a team that was ravaged by COVID and hasn't played in a long time. They came out guns blazing. 5 minutes in, the shots are 7-2 for the Devils. 7-2. They really came out shooting. 9:57. Janssen had a breakaway and he was stopped. And then after that, so about halfway through the first period, the Rangers started to turn it around and start to push back. 12:26, Igor, another huge save. It was a cross-ice pass. He got his pad over. He was able to stop it. He looked really good. A few more saves right after. This first period really showcased how good Shesterkin really is. When he's comfortable and he's in his form, he's a very good goaltender. And I'm sure he's getting very frustrated that he's not winning these games because the Rangers can't score goals. That's got to be very frustrating. Shesterkin is playing well enough to win all of these games, and the Rangers aren't helping him. And that's got to be frustrating. Kakko replaces Blackwell on the top line 2/3 of the way through the period, and then Buchnevich would replace Kakko on that top line. It would be business as usual for that top line. Towards the end of the period, 19:15, Kreider would take a delay of game penalty, shot the puck over the glass. But the Rangers that power play would go for the Devils would leak into that second period, but the Rangers would kill it off. 22 for 22 over the last 6 games. 8th in the NHL for power or penalty kill. So that's really the best part of the Rangers game so far is the penalty kill. Shot 16-9 at the end of that first period for the Devils, and Igor's just playing so well. Second period, Rangers are shorthanded to start, but Rooney would have a shorthanded chance, and Zibanejad would have 2 shorthanded chances, but he is still snake-bitten. 2:04, Strome would score, but it's a no-goal because he batted it into the net with his hand, so it was an obvious no-goal. 2:45, Di Giuseppe had a good chance. Then less than a minute later, 3:38, Lemieux had a good chance, but it went high over the net. I think it was deflected off of somebody's stick. But the Rangers are doing what they can to get shots at the net. It's just nothing's going in. And credit where credit is due. Blackwood is a good goalie. So I don't want to take anything away from his performance tonight. He played really well. It's just the Rangers can't seem to score. Hayek has been noticeable so far in this game. Moving into about a third of the way through the second period, and Hayek's made a couple pretty good defensive plays. He's trying to make a case for himself to stay in this lineup once Johnson is healthy. Because once Johnson is healthy, does he become a healthy scratch, or does he come in and Hayek sits out or Boteto sits out? It's once Johnson is healthy, I'm going to be very curious what Quinn does, and I'll be ready to judge him based on whatever moves he makes. 6:37, Zibanejad takes an elbowing penalty, and a minute into that power play, the Devils would score. Zacha would score a power play goal, and this is the first power play goal that the Rangers let up after 22 straight kills. So the counter resets. Let's see how many penalty kills in a row we can get to this time. Rangers pushing back, better quality chances about halfway through the second period. And then 11:32, Blackwell would score his second goal of the season. It was a feed from Howden. He was in the right circle, got it right over the left shoulder of Blackwood. So Blackwell scores on Blackwood. I thought that was cool. 45 seconds later, Zibanejad is denied. And I'm thinking to myself, we need to start a tracker because he hasn't scored in like 9 or 10 games. And we need to keep a tracker of how many high-quality chances he's going to have before he finally scores another goal. Because at this point, it's got to be at least like 10 or 11 high-quality chances for Zibanejad, and he just can't score. I'm frustrated for him. I'm sure he's very frustrated. He always seems to be smiling, though. So who knows what's going on in his head. 2/3 of the way through the game, a good minute of sustained pressure for the Rangers. They looked really good at certain points during the game. Not the whole game, obviously. 16:05, beautiful stretch pass from Trouba to Kreider. Blackwood would make a glove save on him, though. And then 5 seconds later, right off of the face-off, Trouba, face-off, pass to Trouba. He goes for it off the crossbar. 17-14, Butcher would score a goal. He was on the half wall. He just threw it at the net, and it ricocheted underneath Shesterkin off of Trouba's leg. So an unfortunate bounce for the Rangers. But 1928, Buchnevich would score a long-awaited goal because he also hasn't scored in several games. Interesting, this was also Kreider's first assist of the season. I think he has 3 or 4 goals on the season, but this was his first assist. 14 games in, Kreider gets his first assist on a Buchnevich goal. He rips it from the left circle. It bounces off the bottom of Blackwood's glove and gets into the net. Shesterkin's still playing on top of his game through 2 periods. The score is 2-2. So going into the third period, as a Rangers fan, you feel like, okay, the Rangers have a shot to win this. Going into the third period, tied 2-2. But of course, we see the third period didn't go so well. You really feel the absence at this point of Miller, Panarin, and Chytil. I know we're not going to get Chytil back for a few more weeks, but getting Miller and Panarin back in this lineup is going to feel so much better. Because if they're not back in the lineup Thursday night at Philly, I really don't see how the Rangers have a shot of winning that game. I think we're going to see another loss Thursday night if Miller and Panarin are still out. But I'd like to stay positive, but the stats speak for themselves. And then Steve Valiquette, in the intermission, he said, we're going to learn a lot about this team over the next 20 minutes, meaning the Rangers over this third period. And I can't say we learned a lot. I'm not surprised by this outcome. And that's not a dig on the Rangers. They are offensively stunted this far in the season, but they also are missing 3 of their key players, and Trouba wouldn't come back for the third period. So 4 of the Rangers' best players were out of the lineup for this third period. So am I surprised? No. I'll cut the Rangers a little slack. It's just getting very sad to see this pattern continue. So I'm kind of fighting with myself on being angry at the Rangers for not being able to win, but also understanding because their lineup is a mess right now. We hold those 2 thoughts simultaneously as a fan base. Third period, like I said, Trouba was out for the rest of the game with an upper body injury. So the Rangers were rotating 5 defensemen for that third period. Buchnevich back on the top line, like I said before. First 8 minutes of the third period, both teams had their chances, but nothing really spectacular from either team. It was just a lot of back and forth. 8:09, Boteto had what I thought was the Rangers' best chance of that third period, but it wouldn't go in. And then 10:43, Sharangovich would score a goal. It was a point shot from Subban. Sharangovich deflected it into the net. So Devils are up 3-2. 12:22 was a 3-on-1 for New Jersey, but Igor was able to fight it off. 14:11, Merkley would score his first goal of the season. Might have been his first NHL goal, I'm not sure, but it was definitely his first goal of the season. I'm not sure on that. But it was a one-timer from the right circle. It was a great shot. He beat Igor on his right side. 16:46, Rangers take a timeout. 3 minutes left. Shesterkin goes to the bench. And the Devils would ice the puck 3 or 4 times during that 6-on-5, and they were tired. You could tell they were tired. They kept shooting at the empty net, but they kept missing. But then at 19:39, Maltsev would score an empty net goal to ice it 5-2. Shots 39-37 in favor of the Rangers. Face-offs, they were about 50% for each team, but as we've learned, face-offs don't really mean much. Rangers had no power plays tonight. Devils were very good at not taking penalties tonight. Very good. Very defensively sound. Hits 30-21 in favor of the Rangers. Blocks 16-17, I believe, in favor of the Rangers. Yeah. So, out-hit, and that's usually what happens. The team that gets more hits is usually the team that has the puck less, because they're trying to get it back, so that makes sense. Kakko looked great tonight. He is not having a sophomore slump. In terms of his points, I guess you could say he's having a sophomore slump, but he's consistently one of the best-looking Rangers on the ice every game. So I don't feel great that he's not scoring, but I don't feel bad because he looks good everywhere else. So the points will come if he keeps playing like this. And like I said, Hayek also had a good game. So we're learning more about Hayek and whether or not he's going to be a piece of this team in years to come. The Trouba injury is concerning. Hopefully he's back in the lineup Thursday night. Otherwise, if Trouba, Miller, and Panarin are all not in the lineup Thursday night, there's no way the Rangers are going to beat the Flyers. There's just no way. The Flyers are too good of a team to lose to a broken Rangers team. It's at home. It's just not going to happen. Offensive struggles continue. At least we got a goal from a line that's not the bottom, the third or fourth line. So that was nice, promising. Tonight's trivia question: who is the only player to win a Stanley Cup with both the Rangers and the Devils? I'll give you a second. As always, I didn't know the answer. I'm learning so much. And it was Sergei Nemchinov. I probably butchered that name. Sergei Nemchinov. He won with the Rangers in '94. He won with the Devils in 2000. So, there we go. Next game, 2 nights from now, at Philadelphia. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully the Rangers don't get shellacked, but they might. And we'll see if Georgiev gets that start or if it's Shesterkin again. But if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.